welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mack here on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. Of course, on Facebook, 1010XL's Facebook page, and streaming live on the relevant app. Check it out at the App Store or on Google Play. It's a great broadcasting app. Just go to your channel, hit the live button, boom. You're in, you're on, and here we go. Today's show brought to you by good friends at Goodfellas Cigar Lounge and Spirits right there on St. John's Bluff Road. Hey, go in there during the day, have a smoke, do some work. They got great Wi-Fi. They got TVs everywhere. Nighttime, man, let me tell you something. They got some of the best entertainment that I've been around. I love live music. Blues, jazz, you name it. Go check them out right there on St. John's Bluff Road. All right, Victory Tuesday. Now I like it, because I always, you get through Monday. Monday's always like, woohoo, awesome. And it was, look, from a macro perspective and mostly micro too, it was a great win. It was great. It was a great win. I mean, coming back from the 17-0 hole, really doing, look, getting that field goal right before the half and then getting the ball back and then that was great. What a swing that was. Agnew's return after that. But overall, the Jags take care of business. They beat the Raiders. Listen, from a macro perspective, it's a great win against a not-so-good team. Now, that doesn't mean it wasn't a great win, because it was. Because what it did was finally, we saw them finish. Finally, whether it was, offense, defense sputtered a little bit, but then came back and got the job done, finished the job. I love the blitzes by Mike Caldwell. I thought those were timely and perfect. I love pressure on the QB. You got to do it. Offensively, of course, didn't start out great, nor did the defense. Adams was going to have a career day, but didn't do much in his second half. But, hey, they ended up finishing really strong. Second half was great. Trevor was very good, accurate. I love that he took off and ran. I love the planned runs. I like that they got him in a rhythm. He was overall very good. Very good. We'll take, 31 times. Talk about that a lot. That seems to be, 30, 35 attempts seems to be right in his wheelhouse, and he does pretty decent with that. When he's called upon to throw 40-plus and higher 40s, I don't think he's there. But regardless, he was very good. He made some, I was talking to a good friend of mine, Stuart, up in New York, and he's a big Jet fan, and we were talking about Wilson. He's like, Wilson's all right. He manages a game. Sometimes he looks terrible. He goes, but he hasn't made, any really great throws, that many, maybe a few. And I'm like, well, Trevor's made some really great throws. There's no doubt about it. Just, not as always consistent as we want, but was pretty consistent, 25 of 31 this past Sunday. So hats off to the kid. I got to give him credit, man. He played tough. He took a couple shots. I love the interview at the end. He's like, yeah, I got smoked on that one, but whatever. He's a big dude. He can handle it. I love that he takes off. That's a guy you gotta account for when he starts running. Some great throws, some just really good. Look, so, again, we want to see more. One game was great. We'll call it like it is. ETN, nothing. Look, I know at the end of the day, he was only 3.9 yards per carry. But he ran tough, man. And I thought it was phenomenal. He's good with the ball in the pass game, good on short yardage, scored a couple touchdowns, made some big plays. Just, I want to see more of him. I want to ride that young man and see how far he can take us with his legs, man. And we'll get into it against Kansas City. Can they stop the run? Can they stop ETN? And Trevor, if Trevor continues with that, I'm just going to call it, I even wrote it down, Trevor's street ball. You know what I mean? Just take off and go, man. You're a big dude that can run. You look at Josh Allen, and the same. You're not as big, but you're pretty much it. He might be a little bit more athletic than you. I don't want you jumping over people's heads. You get clipped in the nuts. You're going to really regret it. Let me just tell you. You got to get over those guys when you hurdle them. But, no, take off and play. It felt like, he was in rhythm. He was in, a good, bubble, if you will, not crazy with his trick, like a chicken with his head cut off, but took off when he had to, made some plays with his feet. I want to see more of that. Of course, we're going to see more of ETN. Nice outing by Kirk. Jones Jr. to me is always clutch. He just seems to always catch the ball. I want to see more of him.
Extremely dependable.
Yeah, he is. Like, when you need a catch, he's 9 times out of 10, he's catching the rock.
It's 3rd and 5, you need 7.
He's there.
He's that guy.
Runs the right route.
Totally agree.
Knows where to be, knows how to get over the, he knows it's got to be 7, come back to 6 if he has to, makes the catch. So that was great. O-line, I got to give them a lot of credit, man. Beginning of the year, weak link. Today, strength. And they are. They're playing some really good ball. Their quarterback staying clean. Only 4 QB hits. That's nothing. They're doing a great job. I'm impressed by them. Keep going, boys. Keep going. Yeah, and I tell you what, ETN and Trevor, you better be feeding their ass. Big time. Every Thursday night, take those big dudes out. Even the backups. Take all of them out. And let them eat a bunch of steak and seafood and whatever they want to drink and make sure they get home safe. Just do it every week. Once a week. Babe, I got to do it. They're protecting my life. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be feeding those horses so much food. I'm like, what do you guys want? What do you want? You want a watch? I'll throw you a watch. I don't care. I'll buy you a present every damn week. Just keep me clean, baby. That's a great, great thing. So, look, on offense, yeah, way to come back, man. Way to fight. The whole team, way to fight. That's a lot of grit. I love it. And I love the fact that, Trevor bounced back in a really strong way, especially in the second half, which I thought was really good. Game plan, overall the play calls were good, right? I thought a couple times they try to get cute. I don't like this whole, flip it in front, that revert, Just, I don't know, maybe you catch them off guard. The reason I don't like those kind of plays is all it takes is one guy to stay home. It takes one guy to not go down. The end guy, if he's reading the play properly, he's not just going to fly down, to the back going that way. He's going to wait and see, and then he's just, I don't know. It's like the bubble screen's got to be really good timing, right? Because all that guy's got to do is, if you don't block the first guy, you're down. You know what I mean? So to me, that's always a somewhat risky play. But nonetheless, great job overall. All right, we'll get into the defense. Smoot deserves, I wrote this online. I'm like, Smoot deserves his own chant now. Just like Schmingy had back in the day. Remember Joel? Schmingy, right? After every time. Smoot needs something like that. And I think he's starting to get one. So that's good. It's so funny. Well, I said he was the best. The guy's been solid every year. Solid. I don't care if he's the best pass rusher or not. All I know is this. Dwayne Smoot comes to play and gives you 6, 8, maybe more this year sacks. That's what he gives you. And he's been doing it pretty much past 3-4 years.
You said it last week.
What's that?
You said it last week.
No, I know. You
said DeJuan Smoot needs more PT.
He does. And by the way, there were some first downs where it was Key and Smoot. It wasn't Allen and Walker, which I found interesting. Playing on base. That means something. Nonetheless, whatever. He look, you earn it. He's earning it. Now, I don't know if I want Smoot to be that every down guy. You know what I mean? I like the fact that he comes off the bench. He's part of the rotation. It's a good switch up. But nonetheless, he gets after it. Great job by him. The run defense, you pretty much bottled up Jacobs. He had a couple 12-yarders, I think, back-to-back. I forget what was it, the second quarter. He ripped you up in the middle a couple times. Got to shore that up, but overall, you kept him in check.
I definitely remember in the third quarter.
The third quarter, he ripped off a couple right up the middle.
Yeah, because it was the only drive I was super nervous that Las Vegas was going to score.
Yeah.
I remember specifically.
You weren't nervous when Devontae Adams was just...
Well, no, I'm saying in the second half.
I know.
In the second,
I'm only kidding. That first half was
Josh Jacobs, more than once, and this might be why DeJuan Smoot's playing more on base downs.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, he would run into a pile of people, and there wouldn't be anything there.
No, right.
Trayvon Walker kept overrunning, so there'd be nobody for cutback.
Right.
And Josh Jacobs would kind of run at everybody, and then just go the other way and get 12.
Right.
And you could tell
Gotta shore that up,
you could
man.
tell Trayvon was getting upfield too far.
Right. Gave him that vertical.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, you got to be on your keys on that one. But overall, they bottled them up, so I'm good. Look, first half, tale of two halves. First half, they crush you a bit. You settle down in the second quarter, late in the second quarter, and then of course the second half better, up and down, but pretty much. Look, when you needed it, and we're going to get into the fourth down calls because I see it a little bit different. It doesn't really matter because we won. That's a beautiful thing about when you win. And it should be. The critique doesn't change. But the tone may change. I know it does for me, right? I'm happy they won. But that doesn't mean they're not, past critique. And trust me, the coaches are critiquing everything. They have to. They have to. You got a big test this week against Kansas City, man. This is, again, fans are going to fan, and that's great. Local media is going to do what they do, too, and it's fine. The Jags beat a team that's not that great. It's okay, but it was a great win. So I think that's fantastic, right? Especially at home. And you came back, which shows a lot, and you finished. It shows a lot. That's why it's all great. Will that be enough to propel? Maybe. I hope so. We're going to find out. Look, you saw Baltimore last night. They look pretty darn good. They always seem to look pretty dang good. Kansas City. I mean, it's not, Dallas. I mean, we got a lot of good football. The Jets. They're 6-3. Tell me, before the season, we're like, W. Now you're like, well, this might be a good game. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll see when we get there. But overall, look, again, it was a great win. Now, the fourth down calls, it's so funny. You hear people, I'm so proud of Doug. I'm so proud of him that he didn't go for it. Like, whatever. The first one, the fourth down, I even wrote it down because I wanted to make sure. You're up 24-20, right? So we know this. Fourth quarter. It's 4th and 1 at the Vegas 23 with 3:08 to go. This is the one where the kicker bangs it off the side, right? And nothing happens. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so they need 7 anyway to beat you. It's not like they got to just go down, 30, 40 yards and kick a 50-yard field goal to win or even to tie. You're up by 4 regardless, right? If you get the first down or you don't, right? So if they get the ball, right. You understand what I'm saying? They still need to score a touchdown. I'm sitting there going, look, it's a chance. You have to weigh the risk versus the reward, right? If you make it, what's the reward? First down, probably take it down to 2 minutes, probably give them no time at any time.
The game's over if you get it.
The game's pretty much over. I mean, there's maybe a scenario where it's not totally over, but the clock would be so far down that it wouldn't matter. So if you make it, quote unquote, game over. If you don't make it, well, you're relying on your defense to hold them from scoring 7, not 3, 7. Now, granted, you hold them to 3 and there's time left. They could kick another field goal if they get the ball back. I get it. But you try, that to me is like when I know that other offense needs 7 to beat me and I've got them pinned, because what are we on, the 23? You got them pinned. It's like a kickoff, basically. You got them pinned. Can my defense stop him? He goes for the field goal. So I guess the answer is no. I don't believe that my defense would stop him. I'm worried that Adams and Carr are going to connect. The ones they missed in the second half, I mean, there was some where he was open and they just missed. Some of it was due to pressure, some of it was who knows what, but nonetheless, they didn't get it done. So, and by the way, the Raiders just called their third timeout then, before that first field goal. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't matter. But I found it interesting for a guy that always goes for it. That's when you decide. Whatever. They won the game. Now the second one. What's that?
Sorry, I was a fan of him kicking it.
Yeah,
because I think being up 7 and making it, they have to score just to send it to overtime,
just to tie.
I think. Because either
way, you're relying on your defense to stop them from scoring, right?
Right. So
would you rather that they can stop them?
So would you rather be relying on them up 7 or up 4?
Well, then I don't rely on my defense that much. It's okay if you don't, but that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm not confident that defense is going to stop them from scoring 7. Not 3, 7. And in either scenario, they still got to score 7. And I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Conservatively, we're up by 7. Hey, we're at home, up by, okay, I'm not totally bagging on, I'm not really even bagging on it, but I was surprised that one that he didn't go for it. The second one, I totally get. There's a minute left. Now it really puts pressure on them to have to, look, you get 40 seconds left. There's a lot of pressure on the offense to complete passes, right? To get big chunks. You got to have a big chunk play, at least 1, maybe even 2, to get into that field goal range. So, and they had needed 7 there, too. So I get the second one. First one, what do I know? I'm not a coach. I know who is, though. Jeff Saturday's the new interim.
Oh, my God.
You know what? Now, why don't we just get into this? Because you know what I find funny? I love fans. I love pundits. I love them all. Everybody's got a place in this world, especially on social media. You know how many pundits, quote unquote, you know how many fans, quote unquote, think that they could run or coach a team better than anybody that's running and coaching the team? They believe that. A lot of fantasy football players like, man, I could be GM. Are you kidding me? Totally be GM. I know who to pick. I know who to trade. You know it is. There are people, not everybody, that'd be a blanket statement, which is stupid for anybody to throw a blanket statement about anything out there in the world, but you sit there and like, oh, I could totally do it. Totally do it. Now, but you don't think a former player could do it? Maybe he can't. I don't know. I don't know how many interim head coaches end up being head coaches for the long term. I don't know what the history is there. I don't know how Irsay came to this situation. But just flip it. What if it was Biselli here in town? You don't think Biselli could run a football team? I know. Listen, I'm not a big enough name in the market. I could totally run a football team. Now, I'm not the X's and O's, wizard. You got to have those people in place. But to manage to be the CEO of a football team, I think he could maybe do it. I don't know. I don't know Jeff Saturday personally. But I think it's funny everybody's bagging on it. Probably because Irsay's a little cuckoo. He is. More ways than one. But I don't know. The hell, why not? Feel bad for Frank Reich, I guess. They're not totally out of it. It's like, man, talk about throwing in the towel, I guess. I don't know. Maybe Saturday can give him a little push. Maybe. I mean, look, Detroit's not having a great year, but I think those players like playing for Dan Campbell. Thing is, with Saturday, he doesn't have he was coaching high school.
And they weren't good. His high school team was 3-7.
Graham. Could have been the players.
His high school team was 3-7. They have 2 former NFL head coaches on staff, and they hired. I hear what you're saying.
I mean, who knows?
But
maybe they had some drinks or something. He's like, you should be my head coach. All right, I'll do it.
At least give me a couple of years as an O-line coach or something. I mean, my God.
I don't know. You think about look at John Lynch. He went from broadcaster to GM. He never done that before. But he's done a pretty good job. I don't know if great's the right word, but he's done a pretty good job. Matt Millen went from Fox to a GM job. He didn't have that great of career as a GM, but that transition happens all the time. Where you're getting interviewed based on because they listen to you commentate. You sit there and you're like, wow, that guy really knows the game. Or, wow, yeah, he's really good, right? We do it as fans of whoever, former players that are all over the TV, whether it's Aikman or Hasselbeck or Bruschi or Randy Moss. You know what I mean? We sit there like, yeah, that guy knows what he's talking about. Wow, I never even thought of it. That kind of stuff. So maybe that's part of it. Saturday's been, part of some pregame stuff, some NFL stuff. Maybe, he's a center. He should be really smart. They normally are because they've got to know everything. I know he's tough. I don't know. I don't really care. It's the Colts. I could care less if they win another game, but I do find it funny, everybody just ragging on it. I like it. I hope he does. Not against us, but I hope he proves all the pundits wrong, man. I always love seeing that kind of stuff. As far as, look, there's candidates on that team, on other teams that are more qualified than Jeff Saturday. No doubt about it. But the owner gets to choose who he wants to have, and he's chosen him to be his interim. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they don't do anything, right? And they we won't play them again this year, but we got a big list. We got Tennessee twice. We got a lot to go. 3-6. Can 1996 be reenacted? Well, you have to win your next one.
Spoiler alert.
You got to win your next one, which, I don't know. I'm riding ETN and Trevor. I am. I'm riding them. That's our best hope to beat Kansas City. It's our best hope to beat Baltimore. Baltimore struggles against the run. You want to keep those quarterbacks on the sideline, with not a lot of time to work with. So easier said than done. But hey, that's why we play the game, right? They got a bye week after that. Is that right?
They got Kansas City, bye week, Baltimore.
Oh, my God. Hey, man, let's see what we're made of. Now we're going to find out.
You're going to need some fluky things to go your way, I think.
Both of them. Okay, prediction time. It's only, we're far out, but out of those two next games, what record are you going to give them?
0-2. I really hope I'm.
And the harpoon pierces the sail, and there goes the win against the Raiders.
Right. I'm just saying,
good win. No, it was a great win, but yeah, it's hard to not say 0-2.
It's less of a Jaguars thing, and it's more those are really good football teams.
Yeah.
That beat up on other good football teams.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs...
Be surprised if we come away with a victory.
Shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked.
I'm not going to go shocked. I think anything can happen.
The Chiefs did not play well on Monday night.
No.
They did not play very well.
No.
And Patrick Mahomes had to throw it about 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And they still won.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like the Jaguars can play good football, both of those games, and still lose.
Yeah. Well... I
think you're going to need
6 goes to 3-8.
You need a tipped interception.
There goes 96.
You need a tipped interception, maybe an Agnew return.
Yeah, which could happen, man.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I'm not going to sit here and say they have no shot.
No, anybody has a shot.
That.
Anybody
I'm just saying
we beat the Bills last year. Are you kidding me?
Right. And to the point about 96, a couple of fluky things went your way.
Oh, no doubt.
You absolutely earned it, for sure. 100%.
Without question. Without question.
When you play really good football teams, you got to have a couple of things bounce
your way.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they will. That's why we play the game. I hope they do. We'll talk later in the week about the Kansas City Chiefs and what they bring to the table. Of course, they just seem to reload, especially when you had a QB like that. But can they stop the runs? Again, ETN he's showing me a lot, man. He's showing me a lot. He's a tough guy, and he just brings an element that we haven't seen in a long time.
I think the low yards per carry this game was a little bit misleading because they used him in a lot of short yardage stuff.
Yeah, it's fine. Listen, to me, he was a workhorse.
I think without the
28 carries, dude. 28.
Yeah. Without the short yardage stuff, I think it would have been closer to about 4 yards a carry.
Yeah.
But when you have 4 or 5 runs that are naturally only going to go for like a yard, that's going to bring that down a little.
No doubt. We love them, man. We love them. So, looking at just real quick as we wrap up, we did really good on third down, 9 of 15 for the offense. Hey, that's way better than 50%. And our defense held them to 3 out of 12. 1 out of 4. That's 24. That's 25%, man. That's pretty bad to the bone. Red zone, we are 3 of 4. Haven't heard that in a while. That's pretty badass.
No turnovers, too, in the red zone.
1, no. 2 sacks for us, 0 for them. 4.45 yards per carry. They had 3.8. Right there, baby. Great game. Great win. And look, let's hope. I am a believer in momentum, without a doubt. Not that everything goes back to 96, but I tell you, I can remember. So we go to 4-7, we get beat by Pittsburgh, right? So we're 3-6, we win the next one. I forget who we beat. 4-6, we lose to Pitt. Then we beat Baltimore on a field goal, like last minute, 28-25. Their quarterback fumbled. Then we get to 6 and 7. Then we're going. I'll never forget. We're 6 and 7, or maybe we were 7 and 7, and Seattle came to town, and they had a good team. Chris Warren was their tailback. I think Dave Craig was their quarterback, and we had a goal line stand. I just remember going to that game like we could beat anybody. You get on a run, you get some momentum. You're like, man, we can beat anybody. We can hang. I mean, look, everybody has great athletes on their team. Everybody, a lot of them, and we have them right here in Jacksonville. But when you put it all together and click, so I don't know if this game's going to propel that. I hope it does. But what did it show? It showed a lot. It showed coming back, showed grit, showed finish. And I'm not just talking to players, coaches too, the play call and everything. So all that is a very, very good thing. What will happen moving forward, we're going to find out as we move along throughout the rest of the 2022 season. You've been listening to Catching Up with Tommy Mack, the podcast right here on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. Of course, on their Facebook page. You'll see it on YouTube, streaming live on the relevant app. I'll be posting that throughout as well. And, I got a big day today, man. I got rehearsal tonight. I'm going to Miss Judy Coughlin's celebration of her life Thursday. God rest her soul. What a beautiful lady. So kind. Always smiling. Always happy. God rest her soul. Prayers to the cat. They already know. I love them. And we'll be back on Friday, and we'll talk Kansas City Chiefs, baby. By the way, I think I'm going to be, no, I'm not, I don't think I'm going to be, I am going to be at the Southern Grill Sunday watching the Jags take on the Chiefs. So come on out and have a good time. I'll be talking about that throughout the week. That'll do it. Stay safe, be cool. We'll see you right here, catching up with Tommy Mack. Peace.